Welcome to TradingLounge and the US indices for Friday, August the 13th. So, on the weekly chart here, as you know, we're looking at wave 3, 4, and 5 to the upside here with an intermediate wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're not quite at the length of wave 3 yet. Here, my yardstick for wave 1. The length, we should see wave 3 longer than that. Doesn't have to be, so we need to be a little bit mindful. The Nasdaq, I've got a count on the Nasdaq that can bring us a bit short, so we'll also check on that today as well. But between wave 2 and 3, we're looking for 5 waves within that sequence, so let's go in and have a look at that. So from intermediate wave 2 to intermediate wave 3 here, we're looking for 5 minor waves of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And between 4 and 5 here, we're looking for 5 waves of minute degree of 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And between minute degree 2 and 3, we're looking for minuet 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, of course, between minuet 2 and 3, we're looking for 5 waves as well. We've got wave 1 in play here and wave 2. And now we're moving up slowly into, getting a bit more momentum now into waves 3, 4, and 5. The point that I wanted to make here, though, is that when these 5 waves here are finished, I've got to count for the Nasdaq where this wave 3 here is actually finished. So if I can just bring that in for a moment, which would be, this would be the Nasdaq count here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 here. So we're looking for 1 and 2 and going into the 3rd wave now. So yeah, we need to be mindful of this. I could certainly make adjustments with this to take us higher, but it's always one step at a time, and we'll come back to the Nasdaq in a moment. Let's finish off the S&P, but I just wanted to reiterate this particular wave 3 here and how important it will be. And it doesn't mean that we're going to 5,000 at this wave 3. We just go one step at a time. So let's move in a little bit further here and pick that up on 2 and 2 here. Into the intraday. So we've got blue wave 2 here, minute wave 2, and green wave 2. So we're going up to green wave 3. I don't think that I've even got it there, have I? Yes, I have. Not as lazy as I thought I was. So from 2 here, we've got 1 and 2 here, and we've got 3, 4, and 5 here for 3. Okay, and then 4, and we can drag these across over here further on and so on here, and then we've got 4 and so. So the main point here, though, is not so much all of that up there, but the main point here is that, between green wave 2 and 3 here, we're looking for 5 waves. So we've got wave 1 in there. That's clear as a bell. And we've got wave 2 there. And this here, as you may know, is the length of wave 1 roughly. And so we would just use it as a bit of a yardstick to get the length of this wave 3 here. Really, it should be another 60% longer. But I'm a conservative kind of guy on most sort of things, and not when it comes to having a good time, though. And yeah, so we're just counting up steadily through here. I know this can be counted in different ways here just yet, so I haven't really, I'll focus on the weekend, and you know, when it gels with me, then I'll share it. But it's a little bit loose at the moment. But saying that, how's our trend line going in from all of this? It's probably going to cut through into it, isn't it? Yeah, cutting onto the other side, so that's a bit useless. So we really need to go to the tick chart at this point, but let's just drill in here a little bit further first and look at our trading levels. So from 400 to 500 here, we're just using the Fibonacci sequence, which is 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, and 8 here. And it kind of works in geometry terms and also in psychology, because certain numbers are stronger than others and they've got their pecking order, so to speak. And yeah, so what we're doing here at the moment, we know that when we get a tested support on group 1, this is 1, 2, and 3, I call that group 1, and then the midpoint, and then group 2 here. So we're pushing up here nicely as expected. It's just didn't really get the classic trading levels pattern there that I was looking for. But this little move up here, I must say, coming up through here, can be counted in 5 waves. If I can just briefly bring my tick chart across here, that's that move here. So that will be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and probably there somewhere, okay? So it might push up to 4465, the beginning of group 2. So coming up into group 2 here. So it's just be mindful that we could come back here and check that before moving off again in here. But the trend is to the upside, so there's no real drama on all of that. So yeah, just as I've been saying, just you know, if you get a bit nervous, go and do something, you know, move away from the markets, because, you know, we're in the middle of a fantastic trend, really, because, you know, we're in wave, well, in Elliott terms, we call, when we look at wave 2, we'd say we're in the 3rd wave. So we go the 3rd of the 3rd, hit the keyboard. So the 3rd of the 3rd of the 3rd here, and then we've got the 3rd of the 3rd here. So we're sort of right in this part here that should be pushing off strongly, and it's starting to do that now. So that's all good there at that point. So we've been talking about trades and getting in and all those sorts of things. So we can bring the stop up now for this. So we could bring this up to, now that we've got a good support here, we don't really have that support on there just yet. So I'm just going to bring it under the 2. And you could take it a bit closer if you wanted to, but I'll just leave it there for the sort of longer term traders and shorter term traders. Everybody's doing their own thing, so it's not going to suit everybody, you know. This stop here would be for folks wanting to get, you know, further up, at least to this blue wave 3 up here. So we'll hold through this wave 4, and we'll hold through this wave 4. I'll try and talk about, you know, getting out and getting in and all those sorts of things. But, yeah. I think I made a mistake back there with one of the numbers. Not to worry. Anyway, you've got the general picture. We're looking for Friday to be bullish. That means that Monday is highly likely to follow through on that. We won't see any profit taking until Tuesday morning, but that will only be short-lived, and that trend will resume, and then it'll be Wednesday and Thursdays. It will be the choppy, stoppy days to take your stops. So just be mindful of that. I don't really think we'll go and have a look at the tick chart. Yeah, go on. So, but I don't think it's going to help us much at this point. But let's just bring in some more data. So, maybe a tad more. So we've got 1 and 2 here, and I was thinking that this move up here, because we've got to travel a little bit of distance, it's likely that this is my original count of 1 and 2 here and 1 and 2 here. I just got to sort out this mess here, or just, I need a glass of red or something to do that, but there's a few little things in here that are just kind of, it's just a bit squashy. I just got to kind of get my head around it a bit. But look, yeah, not a problem. The only thing here is that it could hit 4465 back to this point here before heading off. Now, it may not pull this far back, but just be mindful of that, you know. And you should, yeah, and you should be looking for a trade above the 50 here as well. Shorter term traders would be trading from 400 to 500, and you'd be building in like we're built in through here. And then once you get to the midpoint, you can still build in here. But this would be the area, group 2 is where you'd start taking some of the profit off the table, and then you would exit here. There will definitely be some type of correction at that point, and would probably need to put in, still too low for this guy though, isn't it? I mean, that should be the length of wave 3 up here somewhere. So it's going to be a little bit interesting, but we'll see definitely see some type of correction, at the number 5. The 4 is important, but the 500 is more important because people are shorter term traders as such. So anyway, I'm starting to waffle a little bit, so we'll move on. Let's look at the Russell. So on the daily chart, just to get bearings, so we're looking at, it's been a bit of a process, this wave 3 here. with an A and a B and a C wave here, and then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 in here and 1 and 2 in here. So we're starting to see it lift off, but not very well. It's been stuck at the 50-60% retracement level from this structure to this one. So hopefully it can push up from that point. I mean, if I've made a mistake somewhere, then this is where it would fail from, this box here. So we want this, the top of this box here, the 61.8%, we want that as support. And the starting point for that would be the closest largest number, which would be 2250. So that's the midpoint, the halfway between 200 and 300, obviously. But I say that because 5 is the second strongest number, and we need that as support. Let's go back to the hourly chart here for that. It's going according to plan because yesterday we mentioned that, I'll just clean this up a little bit, it's a bit hard to see here. Yesterday that we'd look at this as wave 1 up here, so we'll look for that pullback. So it's pulled back about 50 or 60%. So that means if we just tidy this up here, if you want the safe trade, then it'll be taking, you can do whatever you need to do as long as you know what you're doing, but that would be the safe trade at that point. So we've already got a trade in here. We've reduced the risk by half. Once that gets breached there, once that moves up through here, once that moves up through there, then you can bring this stop here under this low here because it shouldn't come back to that point. Okay, so the next thing is that we're at 2,300. That's the top of minor group 1, so that's extremely important. Okay, so let's move on to the Nasdaq. So yeah, the Nasdaq has got a shorter pathway to get to this intermediate wave 3. Maybe I've got this wrong here and we need to do something with this, like I've got this other wave 4 here for this. So we're running 2 counts on the US indices. So when we get to this point up here, we'll just will be just neutral, and we'll just observe it carefully at that point, and we'll see that, because you know, if this is going to go into a larger correction like wave 4 here, normally we find, you know, hopefully would find the move in 3 waves. That would be about the 38.2% retracement level, I guess. But it's normally wave A that moves really swiftly. You know, it takes out stops, and you know, it's a whole lot of things in there. So yeah, we just need to be careful about that. And yeah, and wave 4 can also be a triangle, but a triangle's in 3 waves. It could be a flat correction or an expanded flat. So there's 11 or 12 different corrections that we need to kind of work through to get this right. So they're never easy, but yeah, when we get to this little top in here, we'll be extremely careful, and we want to be a little bit neutral at that time at least. So that's the daily. Not sure what I've updated here. This is the 4-hour chart, so this is cool. So we've got 3 and 4 here, then 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Now this market's lagging the S&P. I think that's going to sort of change. We're going to see the fangs start to bang here. I think when we look at the stocks, we'll be able to see that. So these are the levels here. We've got the 15,000, which is the medium level. Then we've got the minor levels 1, 2, and 3 that make up group 1. So yeah, the idea really is to build in through here. So we've got a trade sitting here off the 15. We've got one on the 100 here. So if you don't have one, then get one. And then also on the 200 here, we want one. And on the 300, we want one. So we want to build in. We want to have a minimum of at least 4 positions in this space here. You know, we can start, you know, at the halfway mark, we can chill. And then we can, in the last leg, we can, you know, start looking at, you know, taking part profits and so on at that point. On the hourly chart here, just to sort of squeeze in here a bit. So yesterday, this is the Nasdaq 100, by the way, not the comp. And this is a CFD product here. So it's a mix between the futures and the cash. So this was just lagging. Anyway, we looked at this here as wave 1 with the A and the B and the C wave. And yesterday we talked about one more little move down through here to finish that off. So that kind of played out okay-ish. Well, it saved our asses anyway in terms of being stopped out, because normally I like to have the stop under the level, but only once it's been tested, and it wasn't really tested properly. So it looks like it's on its way now, so that's good. We need to look at this type of thing here. We'll be looking for 5 waves up for wave 1. So really we want this, if we use a little yardstick again as well here, we've got to have, well, it'd be nice to have wave 3, wave 1, 2, and 3 here, at least the same length or longer. So I'm just going to leave it up at the 15.5 because I think that we should be pushing up there, but you know, I don't know what's going to happen. We just need to, you know, sometimes get caught out a bit, but generally speaking, we're on the right track. So that's what we're looking at here. So I won't go into any intraday here, but it's more so the stocks are the important thing here. There'll be some sort of, you know, 5 waves to here, pullback here, something, I don't know, something, anyway, and then there'll be a pullback in here. We'll look at that once it starts. Okay, so we're going to have a look at stock. So I think Amazon's landed here. So with Amazon, we've got wave 4 here with wave 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here. Now, I'm unsure about that. It could be a B wave up here as an A wave and a B wave and a C wave for here. So we need to be a little bit careful. One of the two things that need to talk about here is we've got this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave down here. Okay, all that's cool. But we need to be mindful that, you know, this could be bearish as wave 1 here and 2 here and wave 3 here. And this level here, right there at the 3, 4, say 3, 5, that could be a wave 4 and the market could move down from that point. And then that would give us 5 waves down at that point, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The other point here is that this is a 61.8%. This is going to give us some trouble over here as well at that level, but we'll just see the structure as we get to that point. So it's always one step at a time. We need to be careful about this just in case we get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. Otherwise, I think that little low here is in play. So from with 100 ticks, so from here as wave 1, an A wave, a B wave, and we went 1 and 2, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 for the 3rd wave, 4th wave, and then we're counting 5 waves down here. So that's all looking pretty good now at that point, I think. This is the 61.8%. Roughly. So what we can do here, let's just, I won't pull that apart on a 5 or 10 tick chart, but I'll just put that on there because let me just, that will be, oh, we did do this on a 10 tick chart, didn't we? So let's go in and have a look at that. Or was it 20? Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, we counted from wave 4 here as 1, 2, 3, 4, and down for 5. We went 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the 3rd wave, 4th wave, 5th wave. Oopsie daisy. Let's just get that in. Let's just check on that. So that was good. Down into the 72. This is all group 2 here. So, I'm not sure about counting that up. It looks 5 waves just to here, so I don't know if we've got 1 and 2 and 1 and 2, and that's in 3 waves here so far. So I think what we could do here, it's making an effort, so, you know, we'll look at moving in here, and we also want to add on 3. This is all of group 1 now, so the 300 is a minor level, and then these are the next levels down, sub-levels. So what we want to do is we want to build in through here, and the risk is roughly around, I think I'll use this line here. I'm not sure if that's the 38.2% retracement level, but if we were looking for another wave 4, that's where we'll be looking at that point. It will be a little bit tricky because 34 is actually, in geometry terms, in Fibonacci terms, it's important because we've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34. So in terms of that price ratio, it is important. So we'll probably be using that level rather than that. And we've got group 2 in here. There'll be work we need to do work within all of this. Okay. So, but yeah, you may want to just even have half trade here for this. And the thing here is that, I mean, yeah, I'm okay with all of this, I guess. The wave 1's not the best, but I mean, this from wave 4 to wave 5 here just looks more like a third wave, you know, but I could see that the market, and we've got overlapping wave structures here as well. So there could be a case for another move down, but we'll buy that new high. Let me just check here. I think we're talking about doing the safe trade was on the 3320. I remember now because that would be above the 38.2% retracement level, but we're above that here anyway. So yeah, no, above the 50, I think we're okay. Yep, that will be fine. Okay, so that's that done. And this is Alphabet on the 100 tick chart here. So yesterday we were talking about this being possibly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up here and then having a pullback. So that's there. So if you wanted to go long here, you can just go long, really. So that's okay. We've got a few long trades in here. We'll just keep the stop out of, we'll bring the stop up now. I think that's okay. Yeah, we'll lock that in there. We've covered all our costs with all of this and we've got a bit of profit there. These move when I close the platform. So we're still looking for this third wave up here. So I'm thinking that there'll be 5 waves here. So this will be 1 and 2 here. And then there'll be 3 and 4 and 5 or something of this nature. And then wave 4 back and then wave 5 moving up there a little bit higher in all of that. I won't move these across because when I close the platform, these will all just go back again. In fact, what I'll do now is I'll just get rid of these because they won't be any good to us later on anyway. But yeah, all looking good here for this. That's all good. And Square, just checking these old highs here. I'll leave it at that. It looks like it's closed up off its low on higher volume, so there is support on the lower end of group 2 here. So group 2 is 65, 72 and 80. And we've got that increase in volume and we can see that it's closed off its low. So there is support there. So that should start to push up now as well. We've got 2 positions here. We're going to take part profit at the 300 and we'll try and squeeze a little bit more out of this at the a little bit higher up, at least into maybe even to this wave 3 here. We'll see how it goes. And Apple, okay, so Apple's moved up nicely as expected. So we're looking for a classic trading levels pattern here in a nutshell. So this is the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and an ABC pattern. We're going to be here for a little while. Let's just go to the intraday, shall we? I just want to have a look myself as well. Okay, so we're looking at this as, well, I still need to do more homework on this as well. I've got this as wave 3 here and this wave 3 here. So I don't know which is the right one just yet, or the wave 4 here. I've got this as wave 1 and 2 and also 1 and 2 here as well that we're talking about yesterday, and then looking for a move higher. So we don't need that now. That's all good. We can pop that in there as the A, the B and the C. So that's all good. So, yeah, so we want this wave 3 here to be longer than wave 1, which is not a big deal, and there'll be wave 4 It will probably be a little bit further down here, and then wave 5 here, and then this will be, we want this wave 3, we want this wave 1 here to also be it's a deep wave 2, isn't it? See, the trouble with this a little bit, we'll just play it by ear a little bit. You know, at the end of the day, we're looking for a pattern like this. So we've had the arrival, we've had the reaction, we're in here somewhere, we're looking for the first high above the level, and then we're going to get that. We're going to be here for a while. And also too, when you're working with large numbers, and 150 here is a medium level, it can tend to skew the numbers. It can skew the wave count a little bit as well, the structure of things. So we'll just be a little bit mindful. But yeah, I should have talked about, I think we had long positions in here, didn't we? I mean, I don't have one myself. Yeah, this one. Okay, so yeah, we're going to buy back over on this correction over here. But you could go here now. I mean, the thing is that the thing that haunts me here a little bit, we've spent so much time here with this, so we've got that really, this is an accumulation process now. So we may not get that situation where we come up here and check back again, you know. So we could just drift higher through here. So I think if you can get a position here, there'll be a little 5 waves here, and there'll be a pullback. I'll leave that up to you to look. If you want to get another position here, it's pretty safe at this point because we're going to be up here somewhere with all of that. I should have got one lower down. I should have talked about it yesterday, but yeah. So anyway, that's Apple. And Facebook, that should be moving off now. So these are the reasons why I think that, you know, well, obviously the Nasdaq to be pushing up at this point. So Facebook here, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Can't see I can count it any other way unless we count that in as a top, but it's too early to do that in the other market. So we have to see it play out like this with all of this. That would be pretty much in line with the other markets, but the time that it's going to take, that's just the thing that I can't get my head around, because the Nasdaq and all that will finish. I mean, look how many months it took to do this here. I don't think we got that time, and unless the SP500 count is the right count and the Nasdaq is the wrong count. One of them is going to be wrong or right, so we'll get there. And these are all the things that we need to mull over, you know. So any ideas are all welcome. Let's just go to the tick chart for this. So let's just get this into perspective. So we had wave 1 up here and wave 2 here down at the 61.8%. That was all good. Got a few positions here. We were looking for this to have another leg down. That's all good. Didn't quite get down to the box here, but we won't be too hard on that. Sorry about that, just rethinking this out a little bit here. This would be probably not the right wave 1, but that's 5 waves here, so that would be 1 and 2 in here. We'll probably have to use different ones, and that will be 1 and 2 here. And then, because what I'm thinking, can this just all be the A wave and a B wave and then a C wave down to here? But I don't think that's the case, but we can look at that as wave 1 and 2 here. That will be 1 and 2, so it's building to the upside here. I'm just trying to get it past the 61.8% mark. I want the 61.8% mark from here to here to be, I want that to be the support. So we're not there yet with that. Yeah, okay, I'll just leave it like that. We want to add another position here. If you don't have a position in here and you want a safe trade, then the way to do that is we can consider, we've got 50 here, then we can go to 60 and we can use that number. And then from 60, we can watch what would be group 1 of 60. It would be 63. So if you can find a tested support on 63 with a little classic trading levels pattern, you can get a position there, and then also look to get a position on the 5 here, because the 5 is part of group 2 here. So we're just with the minor levels here, 50, 65, 72 and 80. Unusual numbers, I know, but you can see the 65 kicking in nicely here. So yeah, which is just the halfway between 80 and 5 and 8 in a way. So yeah, it always plays out nicely. Nice little trick. Yeah, so all that's good. Sorry, just not very mindful today, unfortunately. Had my second jab yesterday. Looks like we'll be having a jab every year now. So Tesla, okay, so that's cool. So we've seen Tesla push up a little bit further here. And I'll try and do some more work on this on the weekend as well and try to figure out where we are with this. But I have a position here, as you may know, just a small one, nothing worth bragging about. So I may take it out at the 750 here, or may not. I'll just look at some things here, but because I don't know, we should just push through that, shouldn't we? I mean, with the rest of the market. Yeah, I think we will push through this. Anyway, I need to do some work on it, but that's the problem point here. Between the 50 and the 800 here, that's the danger zone. Let's just have a little look at the tick chart here. I mean, all the work I need to do, I need to go back over this. I'm a little bit unsettled about all of that in here. I just need to revisit all of that with a fresh mind. So let's do a little bit of cleanup here first. I'm going to stay with my wave 2 here. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4 here, so we'll be still looking for wave 5 up there. Don't know what that wave 2 is doing there. It's there, so we still want to see that push up further. Yeah. I want this wave 5 to be above this one, you know, with a reasonable sort of move there. So we'll probably see something like that, and that will take us up to past the 80 at that point. But that will be the trouble area. So when we go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, this is the first problem area through here. So if you're over trading, then give that some consideration at that point. And the other point here is from that low to here, roughly, we'll adjust that. That means that the market can pull back here before going off again. So just give that. We'll need to do some more work on that to find that actual top, but it'll be something of that nature. So yeah, I mean, technically I won't know unless this pulls up in 3 waves here. If that's an impulse wave from the top to the 61.8%, then the market's going to come back to the 50-60%, and then it's going to go down again. So that 50-60% retracement level, if we get 3 waves to that, we know that we're bullish. If we get 5 waves to the 61%, then we know that we're bearish at that point. But even if you do hang in there and we do get 5 waves here, we can also get out back up here as well. We don't have to let it get out of control, so to speak. You know what I mean? We'll be able to nip it in the butt pretty quick. We don't need this. Okay, so that's that. Alrighty, that's all of that. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers.